All right, everybody, happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great weekend wherever you are. And of course, we always bring you the Saturday special, kind of narrowing the focus on one thing happening. I know the Masters is going on. I know Major League Baseball is going on. I know we're heading toward the NBA playoffs and the same thing with the NHL. But we're talking UFC 273. Cone, hit the button. Let's get into it. I want to start, I know it's a kind of a double main, but to me, this is one of the situations that we see in the UFC every now and then where the undercard is better than the actual champion.
I'm excited
fight. And I'm going to let you break this down from a statistical, fundamental standpoint of who's fighting when and where. But I want to start off with our boy Volk going against the Korean Zombie.
Yep.
Think he's minus 700?
Volk right now, as we're recording this, is minus 700. Korean Zombie is plus 500 for the featherweight title.
I do not think there is a snowball's chance in hell that Jung's able to.
Neither does Vegas, man. It's the most lopsided on the card.
Look, Volk to me, I think he's what, the number 4 overall rated fighter in all of UFC?
I think that's right.
Somewhere around there. Dude can stand and throw him. He can get down. He's a complete guy. Like you said, I think you had a stat. He was 215. Now he's down to 144.
He was playing rugby at 250.
He lost a person.
Are you kidding me?
He lost a person. But look, I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to go to a decision. I won't be surprised if he ended it either way. If he tapped him out, choked him out, whatever, submitted him, or if he just straight knocked him out. I think the Zombies just lived up.
TKO second round.
Lived more on his name than anything. Because again, I mean, who's this guy really?
Korean Zombie's a paper champ, man.
Paper tiger, man.
Look, it's interesting in that I'm the least excited for this fight, but I'm still very excited for the card in its entirety, right? Yeah, one interesting thing about this is I agree with what you guys are saying, but Korean Zombie is willing to trade shots. That is, so could we see some fireworks? That's what everybody is hoping.
That's what he's going to need. He's just going to need to catch him.
But look, minus 700 right now for Volk, and that line's going to be jumping, right? That line's going to be jumping. But to me, that's the one that is almost least worth the price right now on the money line.
Yeah, look, if you're Zombie, you've got to catch him. Like, this isn't going to be, you're not going to win this fight. You're not going to win the fight in general, in my opinion. But if you did, it's going to be because you either caught him and you slept him, or you wiggled your way into a submission. I don't think it's going to be, all right, here's the decision. Oh, we're going to give it to Zombie. I just don't think he's good enough. We always say, talent over time equals results, right? The team with the better players over time, eventually gravity takes effect. Longer this fight goes, if it does go really long, I still like Volk as much as I did by the time it started.
Sure.
I think he's that much better of a fighter.
I agree. Just Volk's 2-1, heavy-handed and heavy-headed. I don't think Korean Zombie's going to, anytime he does touch him up, is going to hurt him at all.
No,
if Volk puts his hands on Korean Zombie, he's going to feel it. Right? Real disc is going to feel it. So if you're Korean Zombie, you got to get creative with it, man. You got to get creative with it. If anything, you go for your big shots. You get him on the ground if you can, but you got to have to get creative to win this fight because there's a reason Volk's minus 700 to win this fight.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You've got to take chances. I mean, this is like sometimes when it's 0-2, you still got to swing for the fence. That's just how it goes. What would you say? Obviously, I know that this isn't the fight you're most excited about on the card. What's the fight, Cone, you're the most excited about?
Okay, well, actually, I want to let's go next to the co-main event, the bantamweight, bantamweight title. What's interesting about this, and then I'll get to the fight I'm most excited about. The bantamweight title, what I like about this is with Jan and Aljo Sterling. This is a rematch from last year, actually, and I think we have this clip, if we could still pull this clip up, where Jan was DQ'd last year.
Control room, go to cut 5.
With his knee, and obviously, we were talking about this earlier about how much you guys disagree with. Like, once you're in a cage, right? But I think that Jan was set to win that fight before he was DQ'd. Sterling came away with the title. Aljo is also coming off neck surgery. I believe this is his first fight since coming off neck surgery. I mean, I like Jan in this fight, and he's at minus 450 right now. Sterling's at plus 350.
Can you hit the cacao button on this for me?
Okay.
Cacao. Like, I don't understand how in UFC this is illegal.
You're in a cage.
Blaine made a great point on the show yesterday. Outside of punching in the groin or gouging out the eyes, I don't understand why you can't knee a guy after you just dropped him to the ground because you were choking him out. You can't knee him when his knee's on the ground.
It's not like the knee was in the back of the head.
Let's roll the clip right here. All right? We've got Sterling and Jan. Been a great fight. Sterling's going to throw a little kick. He's going to try and throw. Jan's going to grab him around the neck. Sterling is literally on one knee. He's pulling a Tim Tebow. You got him right where you want him. Elbow to the face. Good night. I'll see you in the morning. I don't like that rule. I'm not a fan of that rule.
Are two grown men locking each other in a cage. All right? One, you can see why he went to the knee. He knew he was in trouble.
You're cooked.
He knew at that point when he went for that takedown that he was in trouble. All right? From not gouging a guy's eyes out, I understand. Can't do it. From kicking a dude in the genitalia, understand. Can't do it. But from kneeing a guy in the face, I mean, if we're getting to the point where we're starting to get softer in the UFC, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
I had a buddy of mine who says he thinks Jan is the most underrated fighter pound for pound in MMA right now. And
Really?
could climb up into the top 5 on that list. But Aljo, excellent wrestler. So does this thing go to the mat? I like your point there.
You always
There
say
was
it.
a
What?
reason-
Styles what? They make fights.
Styles make fights, and personalities make fights too, but styles make fights for sure. You had a good point there, and we were talking with Jacob earlier. There's a reason Aljo was on his knees there.
Yeah.
Right?
And you got to think, too, mentally. If you're Jan going in this fight, really you won the fight.
Okay.
And
That's what you
gotta
he
take
has
it
to be
away
thinking
from me.
that, right?
There's going to be a different level of pissed and just wanting to get past this. Because I do think Jan's a lot better than Aljo is. I mean, obviously, you see the clip. It was kind of a fluke thing that got him DQ'd when he was really dominating the fight, and at the end was about to put the fight away. Really did, but you know, according to Rule D14, you can't
Bylaw.
you can't knee a guy in the face when his knee's on the ground. So if I'm Jan, I'm coming to this thing wanting to make a statement. I don't think it goes to a decision.
Yeah.
But if Sterling has a lot better shot than the zombie does against Volk.
Okay.
I promise you that.
I agree with that.
I promise you that.
I
But
agree
it's
with
going to
that.
have to be on the mat.
If you're
I agree
gone to
with
stick
that.
to your game, you know what happened last time. You know what you did. You lost to a guy that you were beating because of technicality of what you did. Don't try and go out there and prove anything. Stick to your blueprints, stick to your rhythm, stick to your reasoning of what you do and how you do it. And if you stick to that, you should win this fight in the first 2 rounds.
Kind of sounds like what I told Kobe Covington when he was fighting Masvidal.
You
gotta
did tell
stick
him
to your
that.
Game. You gotta stick to your game. Throw your fastball, dog.
And look, again, these lines are going to jump, but as we're recording this, Aljo is plus 350. And I had a couple buddies who were saying, because I think he was plus 400 at one point, and if that got up to plus 450, they were going to put a little bit on the money line just because he is such a great wrestler. And these are still the best fighters in the world.
And it's 1v1.
But at plus
Anything can happen.
Exactly.
It's
It
1v1.
is, yeah.
All right, now let's go ahead and get to the one.
Let's
that
get to
you're
the
on.
welterweight.
You're just gassed up like Saudi Arabia.
Look, man,
right now.
I'm excited. I'm more excited about this than the main cards, okay? With the folkloric phenom, the Chechnyan Swede, Khamzat Chimaev. Look, here's the situation.
That dude just sounds like he's about to beat
When
you.
you're
That
named
just sounds like he's killed
Khamzat
someone
and you're
with a
from
knife.
Chechnya, what else do we have to say? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Listen, I've look. I don't know a lot about Chechnya,
You don't?
but it's not.
Great cuisine.
Yeah, it's not Malibu.
Great
I can
cuisine.
promise you. Those guys. You
It's
want to fight
different
a
in
dude
their
from
blood.
Chechnya?
It's different in their blood.
That's what I'm
there,
saying. I mean,
man.
we might as well just send Jason Statham over there to try and figure it out. Look, anytime there's a guy fighting from like Ukraine or Chechnya or Serbia or Kazakhstan,
They've been fighting war since they're 8.
like it's hard for me to bet against you.
Exactly.
It's hard for me to bet against you. And Khamzat, I'll say this, just like people talk about schedules, we talk about schedules. Khamzat's beating the guys that have been in front of him. Have they been the best fighters? No. But he drags old boy this weekend.
thing.
Cone, do they give him a shot?
Look,
Do you get a shot at the title? Or
that's
is he gonna see Colby
That's
first?
what makes this so interesting is he has been chewing through the competition at a rapid pace right now. I think there is a stat that he has more UFC wins right now than times he's been hit in the face. Something like that.
That's ridiculous.
That is absurd. Well, he's going to get tested here. I mean, Gilbert Burns is a seasoned vet,
Old
a
head.
seasoned fighter. I think he just fought for a title, maybe like 170.
Yeah.
Just
No, he's
a year
very
ago,
relevant.
right? So we're going to find out. So not only is this a situation where, okay, is Khamzat legit? Can he beat this guy? But if he were to run him, I mean, if this is a first-round knockout situation, what's next? Legitimately, what's next for Dana White and the matchmakers over there making the next cards? Is this a Colby Covington situation? Where is he at on the contender list, or could he get a title fight? I think that's what a lot of people want to see here.
Is Khamzat next up, you think? Yeah, is he the one they're prepping to be the golden boy?
I really do think he is, with what we talked about before. Again, we have to find out more. You know, a couple fights against seasoned guys and he underperforms. We're not talking about it anymore. But he's such an excellent grappler, and he can stand and strike. And we just talked about it. Those guys, there's just a different mentality in that part of the world where they're from and where they're training, who they're training with. I can't wait to see him.
I'm really excited to see the potential, but I've been fooled before by guys that have had good runs early against mediocre competition. Then they get kind of live and they'll lose a fight, then have to come back and try and recapture that magic. It's amazing. It's amazing to see where these guys come from and where they come out of, but can you handle the moment? Because look, like you said, look, Burns ain't no joke.
No.
Like this isn't a hey, we're just getting you another hype fight to get you to the next fight. This is a legitimate fight, and we're gonna find out. And if he runs him, Cone, you think the hype train's big now?
I know.
It's gonna be like Orient Express
It's not going to be an
locomotive
undercard situation, you know. And what's scary about this too is you would think, okay, if he can get Burns on his back, that would be an advantage. That's not an advantage here. Like Burns is great off his back.
No, you got to be good and have a plan.
Yeah,
to win
so
this.
I think he'll actually stand a little bit more. I think these guys that he may actually stand and strike. That's just another, again, styles make fights. That's another thing I'm interested to see. But even Vegas doesn't know for sure. This thing's been bouncing around like 100 points.
You have it right now?
Yeah, right now it's Khamzat minus 490, Burns plus 370. But it's
I like the bang for the buck for Burns though. I mean, for plus 370.
I mean,
Something about this Khamzat guy is different.
you think so?
The hazmat.
You look at him, there's something in his eyes, man. There's something. The certain guys have certain looks in their eyes that I don't know if there's a guy out there right now that's going to stop him to get him to fight in that championship match. Now, will he win it? I don't know. But you look at him and, man, he's dangerous.
He's got the tools.
Here's another thing.
He's got the tools.
This is welterweight, so like
Danger.
in at like what 170, something like that. They said his fight weight could get up to 190.
That's
he may be fighting at 190, and he's younger.
He's got the build to be big, right? He's got the build to
They've been grooming him like he's next up.
to carry weight, and guys with beards like that, I don't trust.
Man, the beard with the
You got
cleft
the beard
lip
and you're from
and the
Chechnya?
cleft lip, dude. No,
I don't trust
You got the
I'm
beard
good,
and you're from Chechnya.
I'll let Blaine fight him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's two
unless
things
I
that
have
come.
a weapon.
There's two things that come out of Chechnya, at least from what I've known: hitmen and UFC fighters.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
It might be one and the same.
Yeah, I mean, dude's over there running. You know, he did his workouts in Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, it's at some point I got to look at you and be like, all right, guess what? I believe. So we'll see. The undercard's gonna be fantastic. Like I said, I think Volk's gonna pound the zombie. I mean,
Okay.
I think he's gonna put him.
Yeah,
in
I'll take
eternal
Volk. I'll
mess.
take
So you
Volk
think this
as
thing goes scratch, huh?
I think he goes.
I think this thing could go scratch.
well. I think so.
But
too.
because I think that, now I know it won't.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone's gonna upset.
We'll see. And if you're wrestling to find the sports show that you love the most, you already found it. Welcome home. Make sure you subscribe. Go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Go to dailywire.com and become a member. Oh, and make sure, give a shout out to the Booster Club, the greatest grassroots movement since the French Renaissance. And for today's show, Saturday special, getting extra special, we're going. Gone.